universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to Inner Quest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Amy Cohen. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about your background, and then I'll start asking you questions.
Okay.
Amy is a complementary health practitioner specializing in emotional, mental health, and wellness using plant medicine. She is a certified practitioner, consultant, best-selling author, teacher of a master class in complementary medicine specializing in mental health. Let's start with the basics. What are plant medicines and flower remedies?
Okay, so it comes from the earth. All of these are plant extracts, and all flowers have specific healing qualities, all for our emotional health and wellness. And we use plants from all over the world. And what we do is we create an extract from them, and from there, based on what's going on with you, we create a remedy for you.
Now, is every bottle have a different plant essence?
Yes, and
Okay.
has a specific, helps a specific challenge.
Okay, so is plant medicines and flower remedies, are they synonyms and interchangeables?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people call it botanical therapy, we call it plant medicine, we call it flower essences, flower remedies.
Okay, and so what are some of the uses of these flower essences?
So when somebody calls me up and says that their child lacks confidence, they'd like them to be more confident in school, we might pick something like larch from Bach. We use them for fears. We use them. People ask me about weight loss all the time, and the way we use them for weight loss is by having you committed to your goal. That's how we help. We don't have remedies that help you to lose weight, but we do have something to help you commit to your goals. Any kind of...
What would you use to help someone commit to their goals?
And also, along with that, not only will it help you to stay committed to your goals to lose weight, but committed to anything that you need a commitment to. Work, relationships. So we use some from Australian bush flower remedies. I might use something like wedding bush, and that helps you stay committed to your goals.
Okay. And have you ever seen the extraction of the flower remedies, or have you ever, seen a video of it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really energy medicine. And the way it works is that the sun, the energy of the sun, cooks the plants in water. And from that, you have an extract created. So there's no scent. It's not an essential oil, but as essential oils, they do come from plants. But the remedies really focus on our emotional and mental wellness.
Now, I'm sure people could look up on the internet and say, oh, well, I have this problem, what flower remedy should I use? Why is it more advantageous to go to someone, a professional like yourself?
Okay. Anybody can try them, and I encourage people to try it on your own. You cannot get hurt. They're very effective, very safe. But when you go to a practitioner who is certified, who has studied, you are getting the knowledge of a remedy blend that's created. Instead of using one remedy based on what's going on with you, I do a consultation. Once I find out what that core issue is, I could blend them together and make something for you that you take over a certain amount of time, and then I do a follow-up.
And so what would be like a common blend that you make up?
There's no common blends because we're all individuals, and every blend is specific to what your needs are. I work with a lot of people that struggle with anxiousness, anxiety, social anxiety. So based on what their issues are, because not everybody has panic attacks, but there are people that struggle with anxiety that do have panic attacks. sometimes you see a child like just having to be pulled into school because they can't get up and get in there, and that really is a form of anxiety. But sometimes we don't see that as moms if we don't struggle ourselves. So all different remedies, and based on what your specific needs are.
Now, so when you do this blend, you want to choose different remedies, but I'd also would think you'd want to choose the different proportions. You know, not each remedy goes in the same amount. Is that correct?
It does.
Oh, it does go in
So
the same.
I will use the same amounts. I will use 7 drops of each remedy.
Okay.
And then I will put it together, and then you take it. But myself as a practitioner, I work a little differently if there's really intense healing that needs to happen. If somebody's really struggling and I want things to move quickly, I might administer in a different way. You can take them orally, you could take them as a spray. Most of the time I give out sprays, but I would say that if you're going to do it on your own, take them orally. Even if you're on medication, you could take them.
Okay. Now, where do you get these from?
All over the world. So
Okay.
I work with a few different brands of remedies that I have researched, that I have used over 10 years and love. There are some remedies out there that I think are only okay, some that I don't think are so great at all, but the remedies that I use, I love, and there are different ones you could look up. Australian bush flower essences, I love them. Bach flower remedies, you could buy them at your local health food store. And I also use Finthorn remedies, which are from Scotland. And you could just look up online where to purchase, and just purchase it from the United States.
Read
online.
the reviews.
And read the yeah. And it really depends on what's going on with you. There are just some remedies that are better than others, and a practitioner can help you with that.
I know someone that uses a diffuser in their house. Is that something
that's aromatherapy?
Oh, okay.
So those are the essential oils that you work with scents. But I have people in my class that have studied aromatherapy, but want to learn the remedies because they were clients. Maybe
Okay.
I worked with their child with adoption challenges and culture shock or autism on the spectrum. And so they ended up studying with me, and we use this specifically.
Well, not all of our audience may not know what the spectrum is. Can you talk a little bit about the spectrum? Your book, I'd like to ask a few questions. It says, on the spectrum, challenges are a family affair. And so tell our audience about the spectrum and how your book helps the children that are involved.
Okay. So I work with children and adults who are consider themselves to be or been diagnosed on the spectrum. Autism, it could be from low functioning to high functioning. And I am not an expert on autism, but I'm an expert using the plant extracts to help whatever the symptoms are that your child or your adult is going through. And that's how the book was made. My first client was a child in rage and a child on the spectrum, and I used specific remedies for them. And through using those remedies, we started to notice things changing and feeling better and moving towards health, and moving towards happiness, I should say, because we're all healthy.
Your book, is it about case studies where you looked at cases you've help people? Do you offer specific remedies in your book?
This is a guidebook, and it is meant for every woman, every mom to be able to use. So you can go into this book, and you're going to find different chapters on your child and different challenges. Is it communication? Is it anger? Is it whatever it is, and what the remedies are to use for that, and you could pick out the best remedy for that. What we also have are different, when I talk about our family affair, it's because also the siblings, how are they doing in school in general? How are parents doing? How is the relationship doing? And in this book, it's just a guide to go in and take a look. I am having issues with my husband, or I'm feeling depressed. Is there something I can do? And it will take you to the remedies that you could go out and get, and they are inexpensive, or order online and use them.
And
so for the whole family.
What is the typical cost of remedies?
I'm going to say between $10 and $20. So they're very inexpensive. And you keep them, the goal is to keep them in your pantry. And when you are not feeling your best, you go to that pantry. If you need a boost of confidence, or if you had a bad nightmare and you're not feeling so good, or you wake up a little angry, you go in and you take the remedy you need. You put it in your coffee, you put it in your child's drink, and you drink it, and you just start to feel better. It just moves you back into emotional balance. Because what happens is we're moved out of emotional balance. And when that happens, we go into a negative state of mind. And what these remedies do is move us back into a positive state of mind.
Okay. And so you spend $10 or $20 for a remedy.
Yes.
How long will it stay good? Is there like an expiration date on the bottle?
Well, you have to have an expiration date. So I would say it's about 10 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, so you could keep them, You could
Okay.
keep them in your cabinet for a long time. They use a preservative. Most of the preservatives are alcohol. Some are glycerin, but glycerin does not last as long.
Now, you mentioned that the remedies come from all over the world.
Yes.
Can you just talk a little bit about, what comes from, you mentioned Scotland, or what might come from Ireland or Australia, etc.?
Well, all of these different remedies. There are remedies that come from America for confidence. There are remedies that come from Finland for confidence. Mm-hmm. We have plants that are all over the world, and some of them, it's a little bit more difficult to find something. I use something for men's energy, and that I can only find in Holland. Mm-hmm. But most of the plants, because we have so many plants all over the world, we could find more than one for confidence, more than one for anger, more than one for rage,
and
fears.
How do they know, how did someone like you know that this remedy is good for this problem, that other remedies good for another problem? Are there scientific studies or something?
As a mom who doesn't know, you could just look it up online, flower remedies for fear, flower remedies for anger. You could also look up on my site. I have a ton of articles. For most of us, I don't know if there are scientific findings. It's the producers of these remedies, and some are fifth generation working with the remedies, going grandparents and down the line that have worked with the remedies. I know them because I study them. Mm-hmm. Practitioners know, and you learn. And you cannot hurt yourself. You cannot hurt anybody. If you take something for confidence and you don't need it, you're not gonna gain more confidence. You have all the confidence you need. If you have a fear of driving or anger, you're going to notice that you start to move towards a positive state of mind. And parents can always recognize by the way the children talk that there is a difference in what's going on.
Okay. Is there a remedy for sleep?
Well, if your mind will not shut off, then there are remedies that you could use. If you go to sleep at night and you cannot shut off your mind, and that's why you don't sleep, you can look at white chestnut from Bach and pick that up.
When white chestnut, is that like a flower?
That is a flower in England, and then they turn it into an extract. And you put the flower, take 7 drops, and put it in something to drink or in your tea. And you could use it all day long. It's not going to make you tired, but it's going to stop that consistent. It's going to shut your brain off so you can sleep at night.
And have you noticed in yourself or your clients where sometimes they take a flower remedy and it works perfectly, and then other times they take a flower remedy and it doesn't have the same positive effect?
What I find is that it works very quickly for some people, and it works very slowly for others. And if your metabolism is slow, then it's not gonna, you might need 2 months of remedies before you notice change. Most of the time, it works very quickly, and with children, you notice right away.
Hi, I'm talking with Amy Cohen here, and we're talking about plant medicines and flower remedies. And Amy is going to be teaching some classes at Infinity Foundation, which is the sponsor of our show. And I just want to say that you should visit Infinity's website. There's some great teachers like Amy, and a lot of classes offered, and some of the classes are for children and family oriented. Now, you mentioned you have children?
I do.
And so what age did you start giving them flower remedies?
I started using it, they were probably about 15. They were older already. I wish I had found it earlier. Because we use them for trauma, we use them for when kids are out of control. You could spray around and calm them. You know, sibling rivalry we have remedies for. But now it's just part of their life,
And
as
so
it is
they,
mine.
and so they've continued on without.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my son has to speak in school. He's going to take a remedy. When he was when he was going into college and there was fear there, living in a dorm, moving away from home, all of those things create fear, and I packed him up with remedies, and he went, and he does great.
And he's still asking for, hey, Mom,
Absolutely.
more remedies.
Yeah, sure. He's come into my room and has spoken about a depression that's come out of nowhere that has been very intense, and I made him something, and it went away.
And is he bringing his friends to you or talking to his friends?
Yes, his friends come to me. Yes, the same with my daughter and her friends and colleagues, and I get a lot of referrals. It's amazing.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. What about like you know, the natural teen years, or as some parents like to say, the meenager years?
Yes. And it starts at birth. I have used remedies for children months old, and you can actually use them when they're first born.
Would you still give 7 drops, or?
I might do it a little differently with babies.
Yeah.
And I make a spray. I love making sprays, but we use them for everybody all the way up to death.
And so the sprays, how does that work?
You spray it around you. You spray it on your skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you would absorb it through the breath or through osmosis coming through the skin?
We don't have to spray it into the mouth. You can, because it's fine, but we spray it around because we all have energy fields, and that's where we spray it.
And why did you start with the flower remedies?
I found it through trauma, and I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of, and I went to my doctor. I needed a remedy. There were a lot of things going on in my family. My father was very ill. I was traveling, and I had terrible anxiety, so traveling was very difficult for me. And then I had 5 doctors telling me what I should do for my father, and I had to make life-death decisions for him. And I was barely functioning, and it was going back 5 weeks, back and forth. And I called a doctor.
A medical doctor?
She's a medical doctor, but she also healed my son, and she used natural medicine. And I called her up locally in Chicago. She's retired now. This was years ago. And I said to her, I need something for me. I have these decisions I have to make for my father. I can't sleep anymore. I can't eat anymore.
Was it Martha Cottrell by any chance?
It was not.
Okay.
It was not. And so she said to me, let me make you a remedy. I said, a flower remedy? I'm like, are you kidding me? A flower remedy? You know, I need a script for Xanax or something. And she said, I'm going to give you both. Trust me, take the remedy, and then tell me what happens. And because I was in such a chaotic time, the remedy worked almost immediately. And within days, I was making decisions for my father. And I said, oh my God, what is this? There must be something to this. And I started researching and started using it with my son, who was getting tested for learning disabilities, started using it on my daughter and my husband and friends, and next thing you know, I am like, wow, this is something. And then started traveling to Australia and around the world, meeting with these producers of these remedies, and started using them. Now I have products out. I teach a master course. We need this in the United States.
Do you do consultations via the internet?
I do them on the phone and through Skype. So I've had clients in Finland, in India, all over.
Excellent. And I want to say, before the show, I mentioned that I know 2 psychiatrists that use plant medicines and flower remedies, and you know, and both the psychiatrists I have a great deal of respect for. So it's something that modern medicine is accepting more and more.
Yeah.
And the harm, because you said, well, there's not going to be any side effects. It may not work, but you don't have the side effects the horrific side effects like you do with many other medicines.
It really is our dream, because what do we think about? We want to feel our best. We want to be happy, but we don't want the side effects of medicine. But if we need to take medicine, we'll take medicine because it's important to feel good. So when you have something like this that has been really hidden in the United States but is well known throughout Europe, and all of a sudden you could take something for your child's confidence, or take something for children on the spectrum, or rage or anger or fear, and know that it's safe, that it's effective, that it's powerful, that it will not interfere with your medication, that it will bring you back to who you are when you are in terrible trauma. Is exactly what we're looking for. So that's what I feel like my role is. My role is to get it out there to women, to moms, to families, to know that we can take care of our own emotional health and do it safely and effectively.
Yes, and take care of the emotional health. It helps with the mental health. It helps socially.
Absolutely, and inexpensively.
And
I mean, social anxiety is huge right now.
Well, and it also helps a person reach his or her potential.
Absolutely.
Because if somebody is frozen because of anxiety or fear, they're not going to achieve their potential.
Right.
So what are some of the basic remedies you would recommend people keep in their medicine cabinet?
Okay, that's a great question.
Okay.
Always there's something great for confidence. You want to go and order either 5 corners from Australian Bush, or you can go to your local health food store where they carry Bach and pick up Larch. Elm, everybody seems to be stressed out. And also there's a big difference between anxiety and stress, and people don't realize it. I think anxiety has become a very generic term. But elm, if you pick that up, that's great for stress and overwhelm, especially if you're in your own business. When you take this, you become organized, you tackle the tasks that you need to do, and the same for kids. Kapok Bush is something I recommend. You have to order it online. It's also from Australian Bush Flower Essences, and that is great to get kids to do their homework and not give up. Because when you have a hard class, as we know, math is difficult, English might be difficult, and the child does not want to do the homework, and there's that fight every day, taking Kapok Bush will give them the strength and fortitude to say, okay, I'm going to push through this. And for moms
now,
and
would
business
you
people.
would you give this to the kids every single day, twice a day? Would you do it during, say, Christmas break or summer vacation? What would you?
Okay, the way I would start is getting a spray bottle from the drugstore. Put 7 drops in of whatever it is you feel they need. Be it confidence, be it fears, you're traveling, change can be difficult, you get walnut. You put 7 drops of each in, and then you spray 2 or 3 times a day. If it's sibling rivalry, you spray. If they're in the back seat fighting in the car, which was very difficult for me, especially when I was in anxiety, you spray, rescue remedy. And so you could use it, I would use it daily, a few times a day. You use it daily a few times a day. You look for changes in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and compare. Where were they? They were a 10, which is the worst. Where are they now? And you just keep using it. When you don't feel you need it, you stop, but you keep it around. And when something happens that comes back, because things happen, a fight with a teacher, a fight with a sibling, and you go back to that state, you just use it again.
Okay, so these look like they have like eyedroppers there. When you say spray, would you?
Dropper bottles. So these are all droppers.
Okay,
Same
with the
right
other ones.
into a spray. All of them.
Okay.
They come in droppers.
So, but you're just putting like 7
drops into your spray bottle, and shake it up. Spray it. Keep it in the cabinet. Keep it in your purse. If you are nervous, if you get stressed out, keep it in the car.
Okay. And the spray bottles must be very small.
You could make, or just go to whatever your drugstore is, get a regular spray bottle, put it in. It could be, you could put it in your water bottle, 16-ounce water bottle, 8-ounce water bottle. It doesn't matter because you're using it as a spray. It's not, it doesn't, in holistic medicine, it's not so much, we're taught that the higher the pill or the higher the dose you take, the stronger it is. It's not like that. It's not like that for plant extracts.
And has the flower essence industry been harmed by the the bees, the colony collapse problem they're having?
I have not heard anything like that happening.
Good, good.
No.
Yeah, because you've heard about the problems with the bees.
Yes.
So, and bees are essential to.
Yes, many, many things.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know if there's been any studies about the decline of the potency of the flower essences?
No, I don't think so. And what they are finding is that plants crop up with the influence of new illnesses. They're starting to find new plants around the world.
Oh, interesting.
And because they're really untouched, when you talk about the bees, they're really untouched. Australian bush is made in the bush of Australia, and then the remedy is made out there. So it's really in a land that's untouched.
Okay. Now, does the flower remedies come in other forms besides a liquid? Like in pill form or anything like that?
No, they are liquid.
Okay. And you say they're completely safe?
Completely safe, very powerful, very effective, just
Okay.
Exactly what we're looking for.
And is there any possibility that the flower essence could interact with medicines?
It has not. One of the things, and I've studied homeopathy, I've studied many different healing modalities. This is the one thing, which is really why I love it so much. Using the flower remedies does not interfere or interact with any medication and works through the medication. So even if you're on medication for depression, which I get a lot of people on medication for depression, but they don't feel better. And they come to me, and I tell them, do not get off your medication. We're going to work with the remedies, and then as you feel better, that's when you go to your doctor and you talk to your doctor.
Yeah. What about cancer? Because that's been on the rise, and
Yeah.
and it seems cancer treatments are more open to complementary medicine.
Yes.
Are you aware of flower
Yes.
essence?
Well, the way I use them when somebody comes to me who is very ill is we're working on the emotional. So sometimes somebody will come to me and has lost all hope.
Mm-hmm.
And once you lose all hope, I mean, everything starts to deteriorate. And I work on that. So I work on giving you back your hope, or getting you back to the true person you really are. And if you need to investigate more, you'll investigate more. But giving you back.
What flower remedy is good for hope?
Well, there's many. There are some that we use for grounding and hopefulness. Sometimes when you're not grounded, you lose hope. Sometimes when you become very depressed, and you lose hope. There are so many trickle-down effects when you struggle with anxiety. You lose hope because you can't go out and function the way you want to function.
So based on that answer, I'd say it's a good reason to consult an expert like yourself.
I would say so, yes,
Yeah.
because we want to get to the core issue. What's the core issue?
Okay. And anything else you want to say about your book? Because it really, well, I'm getting a signal for 1 minute. Do you want anything else you want to add about your book?
I just want people to know that you could look through the book. You could find remedies for yourself. You could find remedies for your family. It's very easy reading. There are some great stories. And this is my first in a series that's going to be coming.
What's next for your book?
I think purpose. I'm finding a lot of people my age that are looking for their new purpose. They want to give back to the world, and we've accrued so much wisdom. We want to heal and then help others.
All right. For more information about Amy Cohen, InnerQuest, Infinity Foundation, stay tuned to the credits at the end. Until next time, wish you good health, good spirits, and good fortune. Amy, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
For more information about this show, our guest, Infinity Foundation, or any of our other programs, please visit our website, infinityfoundation.org, or call us at 847-831-8828.